Now, every once in a while, my dad would all of a sudden say, I think we should. And he'd start, giving us, and we'd all start moving furniture.
Ooh, I like that.
He had a sense of feng shui.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, he usually really worked.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't like he did a really good job of it. And I can't visualize. That's my problem.
I can't either.
visualize.
So we had
I
this
can.
lady come over to the house who supposedly her challenge was taking what you had and rearranging it so that it looked more
That's what
modern.
my sister does.
I was gonna
She
say,
did that.
Ashley.
She did that at my house.
You know where our fireplace is.
Yeah.
And we had the futon couches like facing the fireplace, like everybody does.
Yeah.
And this lady came over and she said, no, put them perpendicular to the fireplace. And we're like, really?
Like that? Yeah.
Like hers
Like
is
hers are.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it works well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because now you can talk to each other, and the focal point isn't the fireplace.
Right.
I want to get fenders because we keep watching all these like English country manor things, and they have the fenders with the seats, and, and just so I could like sit right by, like in the fire as close as I can.
You're gonna burn your butt off.
$3,000. Yes, because they're like custom built. To fit and all of that. I'm sure they're somewhere else.
What
But it's like
made of?
brass
Sorry,
and leather.
Dave.
That's okay. He's nimble.
Is this Dave's sock?
No.
Wait, I seriously still think it would make a great
Cut them out. Yes, it would. It would. It's a great pattern.
It's a pretty.
Oh, it does have a heel. I missed that part.
See, all I saw
all I saw was that.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to do that on a sweater.
You could.
Well, is that the broken seat stitch that's on that?
So it's a free
Basically.
pattern. So it's one round knit, and then it's purl, knit 3, purl, knit 3, and then
you
knit.
and then you change up the
And
sequence.
then it's knit 1, purl, knit 3, purl, knit 3,
Yeah.
purl. So it's
Yeah.
offset.
So it's doing
Yeah.
an offset pattern.
But there are many errors, but it's a sock, and I'm okay
Have
with
you
that.
done this sock before?
No.
Because I've heard you say the name of it before,
Yeah.
which is what again?
What's it called?
Hermione Everyday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's like I got this rustic yarn, which I have more yarn from this person, but I got this at that Smithville
Oh, yeah.
fiber show.
That you were talking about last
Yeah,
time?
it's called Spinning Wool, and they are out of somewhere in Ohio. Super nice people. I should know more about where they're from, but her name's Sharon.
I like this, that this and this are monochromatic.
Ah,
And it goes with what you're knitting. You guys are coordinated with what you're knitting.
What's fun
Are we
about
coordinated with
I'm
what-
not-
no,
I'm
we're
not.
not.
is this is the same resale shop. I found this in the resale shop
Yeah.
because I tend to get my white tops in resale shops because I'm just going to ruin them anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
you
And
need clean white ones.
This still had a tag on it, and it's a chaps.
Nice.
Nice.
And then this yarn at a different time. This was at
That's where you did the burn test out in the back
Mm-hmm.
parking lot? Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna burn your yarn
Yeah,
Before I buy it and
before I buy
decide.
it. Yeah.
So, but it is heavy, but I love this.
I love the swoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that it's got a different in the front than it is in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's actually longer in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
short rows back there.
And what pattern is that?
This is the Daylin pullover by Isabel Kramer.
Okay. And then, I'm wearing her too.
I love Isabel Kramer.
Yeah, Isabel, very nice, very nice. Yeah, so, but I don't know, maybe at the beginning you could put, hey, this is episode. Da-na-na-na-na.
This is 50?
Da-na-na-na-na. Is that the right song for Hawaii?
5-0, yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. It is the knitters are here. 5-0. We've hit a milestone.
We should have champagne.
We'll have an English tea.
Well, that would be nice.
Oh, well, that's very fitting.
That's yes. So yeah, maybe we'll do a couple pictures later, but we thought let's have an English tea. We're getting together on this Saturday, the 16th, I do believe, of November, And it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we thought we would do an English tea, and that is Mr. Case. Hi, Mr. Case,
Mr.
you're
Case.
into it. So, the famous, the infamous, he's
The one and
dodging
only.
us. See you later.
He didn't want to be in it, but too bad.
So, we're not in our normal seats. We thought we would just kind of come and just go and get your knitting.
Come hang out with
Come and
us.
hang out with us, because we figured we started knitting before podcast, and we thought, okay, we've got to stop because we tend to have our best conversations prior to the podcast, and we're like, why aren't we recording this? So we
Then
thought,
we have to try
in
to
fact,
recreate what we
today's-
said.
Yeah.
A subject of today's conversations was this line on Jen's coffee table.
episode 50 of How Big Jen's Feet Are. That is the new name of our podcast.
Well,
wait.
we did not realize it was a sock.
Wait,
And
yeah.
All I saw was the top portion, which just goes up her leg.
And we thought it was a
I thought this was a
pattern.
sleeve cuff, like cuff.
Big feet.
But we really liked it as a sleeve pattern, and then I was disappointed.
I
it
really
was a
think
sock.
so. Yeah,
You know
it's
what
got
they
great
say.
texture.
People with big feet have big hearts. So there.
And
I don't know if that's what they...
I have a teeny tiny little heart.
I
No,
No.
got an average.
I just made that up. I've never heard that before,
He's like an
ever.
average size.
You have small feet, though.
I do have
She
small
does
feet.
have small.
Oh my gosh, what size you wear?
6.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm an
really
11.
small.
Yeah.
I'm
But
an 8.
what's interesting with this is I am using the Knit Pick size 0 because I am a loose knitter. So this is 0.
Wow.
I have snapped 2 of these needles already. So I
Well,
think...
they are really, really thin.
Yes.
Are you a tent knitter?
I can give you mine because you know they're
Well-
not going to use.
And that's why you have to have those hand things because you probably have death grip on your. needle.
I'm really trying to make a conscious effort. Even though Allison let me have her little Portuguese knitting, I haven't even looked it up yet because I'm stubborn and
That's
I'm like,
okay.
ah. But yes, I have found that I have to sleep in these and I have to knit in these or I'm in a lot of pain.
So you can
And-
read in those. They didn't.
No, they don't bother me knitting in them.
No, but I mean, I would worry about the piece getting cut on the Velcro.
They don't actually.
Well, that's good.
So it's been pretty good, and I have been really slowing down. It's bothering me. So, but yeah, so trying to finish that sock.
That's good.
But I have another Allison job. Remember how we did surgery? So I need
Yeah.
to make another appointment for the surgery with Allison. So I love this
I love
sweater.
that sweater.
But-
Was that steeped?
This one was
Oh,
not.
yes, okay.
This one was not steeped, I don't think. No,
That
this
was the one that
not.
everyone
So
was
We all
making.
did stripes for our cast on, which
Yes,
we'll talk
but
about
that,
later.
that was a.
It was a poncho.
Yes.
And then I took a sweater from the same people who did yours, Espace
Espace
Tricot.
Tricot.
Liveresque, I think was the name
Okay.
of the sweater pattern. But it just it just felt really weird drapey in the front. And it doesn't have any buttons or anything like that, but it's just weird.
Too much.
Too much. So I have done a baseline.
Oh, you certainly have.
And it's on both sides. I want to cut. I want to
Yeah,
get
but-
rid of all this because I thought, oh, rip it out. And I thought about doing this sweater stratified,
Uh-huh.
using that pattern, but keeping to this like
Stripe.
4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows, and just reknitting it. And I'm like, my hands, I'm not, like, I love this, but I don't like, how can I fix it without totally ruining it?
Wait, because if you were to cut across those, the stitches, how are you gonna?
It's gonna be like steeking it.
It's steeking it. So it's
Okay.
woolly wool. So I've seen a couple things where you zigzag to, like, on your sewing
Reinforce.
machine to reinforce. There's also another one with crochet.
Right.
But I figured I would consult my physician here and figure out what's the best tactic. Because it's like, well, I think it would be too bulky if we did something like that, where we just folded and knit and would have
Yeah.
that little fold there. But
Actually, I saw something very recently. I wish I could remember where it's from, but I did save it. About a different way to stitch up and reinforce with your sewing machine and then turn it so it was really obvious what stitches you pick up to knit.
Okay.
And I will try and find it. It
Okay.
might have been from Tech Knitter,
All right.
but I know I have it on my computer at home, which I can look up remotely
Yeah.
when we get around
Okay.
to that.
So that's that. I put it on to wear the other day, and I kept like doing all of this, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not wearing it, and I'm like, I love that
And you think
sweater.
that's because it's too much fabric?
I think it is.
So does this give you enough, or have you allowed for the bands after that?
Well, the band would be on top. All right. My
Okay.
glasses are there, so I'll sit on them. Sorry if I flung that in your face. So, it's just, I'm
Oh, I
constantly
see.
doing this.
Yes, so unless you use a shawl pin.
Right. So I was
Or
thinking,
what about those things that with a jewel?
but I
Yeah.
just, I
You
feel
don't-
like
you
I
want
would
it
like
to, you
it
want
more.
You want it
Yeah.
to be.
Now see,
That does.
I'm the opposite. I like it the way it is, but that's me.
Okay. So I think I want more of a straight line than this constant.
So
How about you just make another one and give me that one?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Darcy
for
and I can share
sneaking,
custody. There
Yeah.
you go.
But I would really like to see you bring this up.
Yeah. How do you do that on something already
Well,
made?
I think it's caught on my sleeve and everything, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. It was caught on my
Well, you could do
braces.
short rows in the back.
But how do you do it when it's already made?
Well, you do rip out the band, and then do
Okay.
short rows in the band in the back. But
See, you go to the doctor thinking, hey, my toe hurts, and now all of a sudden we've got ankle problems and knee problems, and oh, by the way.
or you could just do the steeking so it lays nice and make a wider band and make this wider.
Okay.
Oh, just
Again-
you could make the neckband wider and it would make it appear
but I
that
was-
it's up higher.
But I would also
Add in
probably do.
Okay.
a couple short rows.
Yeah, so that's my goal, is to just kind of
Yeah.
remove that, because my other thought with this pattern, I thought, I'm gonna cut the sleeves. Why reknit them?
She's so
And
brave.
graft them, like do the body in this pattern and just graft the sleeves back on. And it's like,
I would
yeah.
just knit it again. Because I don't have the guts to do all of that. Like
I figured I'm not wearing
you know what?
it
I'll just
anyway.
knit it again and then it will
Well,
become
that's the
something
issue.
totally
If you're
different.
not wearing it,
Yeah.
you're not losing anything by trying
I know.
something different. Yeah.
And it is one I like. So speaking of possibly not wearing, one of my FOs, I don't think I like either. Feel how light it is
Oh
though.
my god.
Oh my gosh,
Feel
that's
how
so
light.
soft.
Pass it down.
Ooh.
Pass it down.
Hold on.
Nice.
What?
So that's that Holtz garn.
Yes, yes.
What
So
garn?
Why don't
Holtz garn.
you literally just finished
I
that?
literally just took it off the block.
HOLTZ or
Holtz.
ZT?
Yeah, I've got it over there. So the whole time I'm knitting it, I'm like,
Well, because maybe you're supposed to wear like a little silk cami and this
Maybe.
over top of it, like, 20 something.
Are you-
year old.
it's an
camera?
I-cord.
Don't ignore our other guests.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, really.
So it's an I-cord neck, which makes me feel like it's unfinished.
Oh, because it has like
And I
a
chose,
rolly
and I
kind
can
of-
take it
yeah.
off and put
Sure.
because it had the two options. But
It
I
kind
did
of
the button
flares
band.
a bit.
Well, I tried blocking it a little
Okay.
longer, thinking it would take it, but I don't know. So
It's cute though.
yeah, it works.
What part is it you don't like?
I don't know.
I think
it just
that,
feels like nothing's there.
Oh, okay.
And I think because it feels like nothing's there,
Or a
I'm
heavier turtleneck.
Well,
so.
maybe if you put a
Sorry.
Well, and I have buttonholes.
well, not even the buttonholes,
Yeah.
but just the very top,
Mm-hmm.
put a pin there
Yeah.
and see
Okay.
if that makes you feel any better.
So here comes the consultation.
So face the camera.
We're gonna
Okay.
find out what
Back up.
arm needs to be taken off.
Okay, so your shoulder seam is back here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, unless you're doing the English shoulder seam, you want that up there.
Okay, so maybe I just didn't put it on. Okay.
Okay.
So that puts the neckline even further down.
Is that okay or not?
I don't know, does it look okay?
Yeah, I think it looks great, but it
Rides up. And
rides up in the back.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just from the aggressive blocking, it seems longer now in the front.
So,
No, it's longer in the front than it is in the back.
I don't like the cast off.
I don't like the cast off. It's weird.
Uh-uh.
It's high up in the back.
The cast off, the icorn
Like,
cast
put
off.
your back to
Is
the
it
camera
supposed
so
to
you
be?
can see it later.
Yeah, so maybe we wouldn't pull that up.
Maybe
So
it does.
no,
maybe it was meant to be an English
Okay.
shoulder seam. But
Where-
I would
where's
go
the
back
bottom of
and
It's
do
the
either a garter.
Cognac.
I would
Cognac?
do either a garter stitch or a
It
seam
looks
stitch
unfinished.
bottom.
It does look unfinished.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that's the look it was meant to be.
It had the two options.
What was
So
the other option?
It was your basic
Ribbing?
ribbing.
Maybe just tear out the cast on and the
Yeah.
cast offs.
Oh.
Shin!
Shin.
I
Not
think you need, a heavier cast off. Now this is double.
Something that,
Yeah, you went back at the end, which was really cool. That was what I posted, that I was trying to figure out how to do a double knit button band, it's a French pattern. So she's speaking in French because she offers these great tutorials. She's speaking French, subtitles, Italian, what is it? Bind or cast on, and then also trying to figure out how to do the double knit button band, which was
See,
so
you need
wild.
something with more weight to it like this down here, and that's why I suggested garter stitch or seed stitch, which are both denser
Okay.
than the ribbing. But you could also do a double band. It would just be
what do you hyper focus?
perpendicular to the direction of your sweater.
Oh, it's her hand.
I'm like, what is she gonna
I was gonna
attack?
say, is there something over here? So she all night long has stared into our coat closet by the door.
Ah.
And many
Ghosts.
years ago, mice.
Yeah.
So we opened the coat closet and let her have it all night long. Like if there's something in there. So I don't know what she's doing. I mean,
Cats tend to see ghosts too, though, I think.
there you
So
go.
did Monty. He used to just like stare randomly at like we'd be facing this way looking at the TV, and he would be sitting in the middle of the floor staring at the wall behind us. And I'm like, is there something behind us? Like I'm afraid to look.
Or they once saw an ant come out of that corner, so
Yes.
of course they'll.
That's
they'll
the
look in that
pattern.
corner,
And it's
right?
funny because whenever we would take him to my parents' house, they have this corner curio cabinet
Uh-huh.
that had a mouse under it like 9,000 years ago, and he would literally be obsessed with that spot.
Okay. And this is the Holtzgarn.
Is
yes, I
is it
remember.
kind of like what's the Icelandic wool?
This is alpaca. So what is that, Surrey?
Oh,
Yeah, that's alpaca. And I got this at the Pink Lamb over in
no,
Norton.
what's the yarn that you made an outdoor sweater in?
Yes, that is
Let me-
Let
Let
Lopi.
Lopi, okay, but this is alpaca, okay.
Yeah. So it's like air, the sweater.
is.
But it's really warm.
Well, that's good.
So, but I took it off the blocking mat probably at 10 o'clock in the morning. So,
Today?
and it dried fast.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing
there's
to it.
nothing to it.
That's
Yeah. So, and I'll have to figure it out. But
Well, you've got options.
I've got options. But
And remember your bands for your cuffs and your waist don't have to match.
that's true. See, I always think it does.
No, it doesn't have to match.
Okay.
Well, I'll show you on my whip here, but I certainly didn't match them.
But I have a couple more finished objects.
Ooh.
Somebody's turning one.
Oh my.
That's so cute.
Oh,
How
I
cute.
do
love that.
really like that little stuffy, and that's
Yes.
out of that book.
So
that
that
we were looking
is
at.
out of this
The
book, which I
toy.
had for years. And it's a Susan B. Anderson. And that's the same yarn that I made my cardigan out of, which is the Hobby Lobby
You put
market.
beads in there.
I did.
So where did you find? Like, how did you?
At Hobby Lobby, or no, Joann's has it, and I put it in a nylon, like pantyhose, so the beans don't come out.
It's so cute.
But this is just the flax by Tin Can Knits. Lots of patterns or sizes.
that little monkey.
Yes. I know. There was just,
cute. Oh,
and I didn't want to do circle eyes because I
And did
knew.
Jen lift
Oh, he's so
What's that?
it? Did you lift the tail?
Oh. No, I didn't lift the tail. But I did slit eyes because I just knew if I tried to do circles, I would not be able to get them
No, I like
even.
the little slit eyes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So little Miss Delilah is turning 1, and the yarn in this is the Heidi and Lana. There's the, oh gosh, the seed fingerling or fingering weight or something, fingerling.
Yeah,
I just held the
potatoes.
white and the pink together to get it that
Make
marled look.
a marled look.
Yeah.
Little Miss Delilah.
All right. But that's what I've been working on it, and I'm in like a hold pattern of waiting to see what we decide to go with for New Year's Eve to see.
You're not gonna knit till New Year's Eve?
No, I'll knit. I gotta finish my giant socks.
And that might take her till New Year's Eve.
What are you doing?
That's funny.
Ha.
Okay.
So what are you working on over there, Allison?
Okay, so I am working on this sweater called the coffee cardigan.
Oh.
So there's that, but the
Here,
coffee
I'll try.
cardigan by KFB.studio.
It looks like the colors that Darcy's using.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And mine is the coffee collection.
Oh my gosh.
So it's basically a cardigan. I needed just a throw-on cardigan.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing is, I couldn't make heads or tails of that pattern. I
Whoa,
think
that's
it's a very
saying something.
novice pattern writer, and she's got everything written out to the detail, row by row,
Right.
and grafted row by row, and it
More
could've been
more
a
than
little more easily.
necessary.
So I used one of the patterns I already had called Palette to
Make a
go ahead.
coffee cardigan a la Allison.
Yes. So this, this design here, the textures here are from her, but the number stitches, blah, 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 are from the Palette cardigan. And then,
Wow, there's a lot of charts in here.
yes, exactly.
They're insane.
They are insane. And then I decided I liked the bands from a different cardigan
It is cafe latte.
called Reindeer. So this is basically knit with yarn and back, slip one, knit with yarn and back, slip one, and then you knit a row, and then the next time you knit two, then you knit one with yarn and back, slip one. And it makes this little, lovely little...
It's a beautiful pattern.
It is.
Yeah, and I had that done all around here, except when I tried it on, I felt like there's too much fabric in here, and my armhole ended up down here, which is fine for this kind of drop sleeve, but I prefer the more fitted. So, as you may have seen on our Facebook, I indicated I was gonna cut it from up here,
Cut it.
down here, and I did. So I cut it to where I wanted the armhole depth to be.
How did you cut?
Well, pretend this is too long.
Okay.
Like the armhole is too long.
Yes, so I cut from up here and to where the bottom of the armhole was down here.
Uh-huh.
And then I knit this down, since it was a top-down sweater, ripped out the yarn hole bit till we were at the same length, and then I just Kitchenered it together. So now it's where I want it.
Do you hear the crickets?
Of course you did.
And,
That's exactly what I would have done too.
and
I've done that all the time. I mean,
you.
come on, you guys.
The secret's out. Crystal's really the brains behind all of this.
she's just dictating how we should do things.
So I'm just going to continue now with the pattern, re-knit my band, and now I can knit the sleeves without worrying about it.
And you feel like you like it better now that?
Oh, yes, definitely.
See, that is the thing. As you're knitting, if you doubt anything, trust your instincts, right? Mm-hmm. Like I didn't, and I just kept going because I wanted it done. But it's like you gotta trust your instincts and figure out what it is.
So part of my problem was I sort of kind of did a gauge, but I matched the stitch gauge, not the row gauge.
Okay.
And then
Which
this,
is what they tell you is most important,
true,
the stitch gauge.
if I bothered to compare it. But this DK knits more like a worsted weight, so it came out longer
Oh,
Okay.
than it should have.
okay.
So if I'd really been paying attention, I could
Because
have
row gauge would
avoided.
affect the length of a
Which would
garment.
have put the armhole further down as well, right? Because of your
Don't
row
eat that
gauge
bread.
being longer.
Yeah,
Okay, get down.
Don't do it. She's just on the chair.
my
She's
other.
thinking.
No, get down.
You can bring it
Don't
over.
make me get
I'll
pop.
be right back.
Okay. All Dave has to do is look at her as she runs. He's the disciplinarian of the family. I'm just like, oh, aren't you pretty?
Okay, so, all right. The other whip, oh, that's that one, was not a pattern per se. I saw a picture of a sweater and I liked it. It was in an ad of some kind. So you want to show that?
Oh.
Gosh.
That's a lot of fun colors.
Well, and I had just
Is it the
walked
colors
out
that
of-
drew you?
Spoke to me, even though I
Colors.
normally don't wear bright
These
colors.
bright colors.
But I was just out of my Stephen B class,
Right.
where I don't like his patterns, but I love his ideas about color.
Uh-huh.
And I always need help with color. So I've gone totally stash of
I thought she was gonna say she'd gone totally rogue.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
trying to make.
You had all that
Oh
in your
my
stash?
gosh.
Well, I had
All
bought,
those bright colors?
I had bought from Stephen
Yeah.
B this
Oh, that's
collection of
right.
minis that were very bright.
Oh.
And then, since I recently arranged my stash by color,
Yes.
Okay.
I was able to go and find these things here. Remember the little minis they gave us at Pittsburgh
Yeah,
2
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago?
Yeah, yeah.
That was these.
Oh, so it's a memory sweater now.
So I think I'm long as I'm going to be, but I need to pick one of the colors for the bands. I was
Oh.
gonna do this rusty color here because I thought I had a lot of it. Turned out I didn't. I only had one skein. So I think what I'm gonna do is try and find a blue, a darkish blue,
Okay.
to finish the bands on the sleeves and the sweater. So remember last time I was talking about having classic patterns in your favorites, so you can find a classic pattern to then use for something else. So that's what I did here. Again, I used my Timelines tee, free pattern, and I used it for, judging the V
So
on the
you-
neck.
Did you use this pattern? Or
is
that
a
was just
pattern.
the inspiration
Yeah.
was a picture of a sweater you saw somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And yeah, I used the Timeline tee pattern, but put my own, well, I didn't need any texture on this one, but put my own stripes on it and stuff. So,
I really like that green.
Yeah.
That green, I really like that green. And I really like the pink. Dang it, I like the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Is this, yeah, I don't think this is the right blue, because you had given me some blue. That's too light.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, but
too
okay.
muted.
All right.
you.
I'm like, hang on, you might have that blue.
Which pink do you like?
I like them all.
Oh, okay, because I have more if you'd like to have it. So, yeah. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
Cute.
Oh, well, after we're done with whips, I have to talk about that.
Okay. I am getting to the final leg of my, whatever this thing is.
Striated. Striated.
Stratified.
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 Pull over, yeah.
So I am doing the ribbing on the bottom. And
Right.
I'm somehow off count, that's why I stopped. Because I need to go back and figure out, I apparently cannot count to 3. While I'm
Did
talking.
you count Mississippi-less?
No, I just counted to 3.
Mississippi list?
You know,
One
Mississippi,
Mississippi,
2
2
Oh, okay,
Mississippi.
all right. I just didn't understand.
No,
the
I
last
was just
part.
doing 1, 2, 3. And apparently I missed something because
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have the wrong number of stitches left here. So I
Or
have to
at
go
the
back and,
end, so is it gonna make a huge difference?
well, but it's the rib.
Oh.
We'll find it, and then you can just knit 2 together there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's typically what I
Okay,
just
okay.
fudged it. to
Depending
make
on
sure.
where it is, I thought about going back actually, but depending on where it is.
So show more
Just
of the
cut
pattern
it.
so people remember.
No.
And start all over. I really like that green in there.
Yeah, I substituted this mustard for the rust on the original pattern. So,
And are you
And
going
then-
to do short sleeves or long sleeves?
I'm gonna do 3/4 sleeves,
Oh,
and they're gonna be solid.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm gonna do the blue. I need to check and make sure I have enough. So
I have some.
you have some.
Yes.
Perfect. I knew somebody would have
I
some.
might have
I do.
some too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the solid sleeves about 3/4. That way I don't have to worry about, do they match, are they even, did I forget to count
Yeah.
this many rows?
A lot
Because I
less
want
hassle.
it done.
yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, solid sleeves at 3/4 length. And have I tried it on? No, ma'am, I have not. I have not. I was going to before I started the ribbing, and then I thought, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not. So
Okay.
hopefully so this is it. This is what I'm working on.
Nice.
Your turn,
What are you
Darcy.
doing over there?
What you working on?
So I'm using up my Christmas Advent from last year.
Okay.
And this one's Coast to Coast Yarn Company. And the theme was coffee. I talked about it in last episode. But and I'm knitting the Korean poncho.
Yeah.
By Amy Palco. But I'm liking the color like from light to dark because I'm doing it by each day's Advent and I'm on day 12. And it wasn't a full, was it? It only goes to day 20.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a short Advent. But I really like these colors.
That is gorgeous. That is so you.
And it starts, here's the front. Light turtleneck, and it just gets darker.
Nice.
But, you know, and as the rows,
And that's fingering weight, correct?
yes, and I'm holding 2 strands together.
Yeah.
But as the colors, you know, obviously in,
You're gonna want to turn because of the way your yarn is.
oh, yeah.
There you go.
As the colors change, right, at the beginning when the circumference was smaller,
Uh-huh.
I have a bigger chunk of color.
Yeah.
So you can, but
Are you
there's-
holding 2 together or just knitting 1 at a time?
I'm knitting 1 day at a time and holding that day double.
Okay. All right.
Which, you know, after I started doing that, I'm like, oh, I should have held like day 1 and day 2 together, and then day 2 and day 3 together, and
Sort of like what we
Okay.
did with the
like I did with the swanch, that big long.
Metropolis.
Yes.
Metropolis.
Oh, I didn't do that with that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But I did do that with the big
Oh, the
schlanket,
schlanket, yes.
whatever
Yeah.
that shawl was from Tiff
Tiff
Nealon, and I
Nealon,
can't
yeah.
think of the name of it, but
Carven.
oh,
Love.
something love.
Yeah.
I don't remember,
I just
but-
saw that the other day. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm liking it, and I have no idea if it's gonna be long enough, right? Because it says to stop knitting at like 2 inches before it's the desired length,
Mm-hmm.
so you can do the ribbing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I'm just gonna go until I only have enough yarn left to do ribbing.
Yeah.
And if that means it's only like this long, then it's only that long. Because it's the Advent.
I may
and
have
just-
big feet, but you're short. So even though
Yeah, but because I have
the girls.
the girls, I need extra fabric to go over them, which means it needs to be longer so I can, you know,
And you're
have
on
some
day what?
cascading fabric there, but
What day did you say you're on? 12?
12,
And you go to 20?
about 20.
And
it
you've
does
got a
have a
full
full
skein.
skein,
Yeah.
which
Oh.
I didn't plan on using because the full skein is fairly light and on a grayer side.
But you could add something to it.
If I had to,
I
but
have the cappuccino by Heidi and Lana.
I
but
do
think,
too.
but I think how would that feel?
it would be more rough.
Yeah.
Hers is a little bit more rough than this.
That's really.
But even if it only
really-
comes to here, that's all that's on camera for work anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all I'm working on right now, because I hope to finish this, so we can start New Year's Eve cast on
Yeah.
when we come to it. And just in between will be like hats and,
For Peacocks and Pearls, like for your shop. So check out Peacocks and Pearls.
It's on Etsy. But yeah, that's all I have. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I've got purchases because I went to the Autumn Fiber Festival.
Oh, you
down
did go?
in
Okay.
Mansfield?
Ashland.
But at the Mansfield,
No, Ashland
at
County Fairgrounds.
Ashland County Fairgrounds. Okay, I knew there was like something weird.
It's like in the border of
No,
Ashland.
it was at the Richland County Fair.
Yes, that's correct.
That's right.
But we kept thinking it was at Ashland.
That's what it was.
And I showed up in the wrong
It's in the
place.
city of
Oh.
Ashland, but at the Richland County Fairgrounds.
That's what it was. And my husband had one job to do. I'm blaming him for this. I was not to buy a sweaters quantity. But telling him not to let me do that, I also took enough yarn money with me to clearly buy
So
multiple sweater
It
quantities.
really meant it. They'd left all their money in credit cards.
So
to go.
I could totally blame Dave for this, but yeah, no, I went in knowing
This bag is huge, by the way.
it is. So first I'm gonna pull the little guys out. I always wanted skein
So wait.
yarn earrings.
Wait, before you get into
Aw.
how was this year's Fiber Festival? Because every year it kind of gets a little bigger.
I can only compare it to Wild and Woolly.
Yes. Which is what we typically, size-wise,
Yes.
they're comparable.
So that's why I have to look at the vendors to see if it's the same amount of vendors. Because I felt like there was quite a few vendors and it was set up
Okay.
similarly along the outside and down the middle.
Right.
Yeah, but I
I feel like
didn't
the
think it
venue was
was.
bigger, or do you feel?
I didn't think it was as big as Wild and Woolly.
Oh.
See, that's
maybe
what
I
I'm
just
trying
like
to
the
think.
Well,
vendors better.
this
I don't know.
past Wild and Woolly was pretty big.
huge,
Yeah.
and it was packed.
But in the beginning, Wild and Woolly, when it was
I
tiny.
don't know. I
think
just
it was
thought there were more vendors at this that weren't oriented to knitting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
I
were
can see
roving, and
that.
then there was some craftsy stuff, and I
So
don't
it wasn't
know
a
much.
true, like, knitting festival?
Well,
Or fiber
a
festival?
lot of times at the ones that are at fairgrounds, there's also animal judging and things like that.
Yeah.
So you're more likely to
They
see
did
the
have
fleece and the
animals,
roving
Yeah,
and.
yeah, but
that
that
kind of
wasn't at this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did find a couple newish people there. One is called Dyed to Order, and I don't have it written on the card, but she's an Ohio girl.
That sounds
I feel
familiar.
like she's in the Cleveland area, and she had lots of bright, fun things. But she also had these little travel tins set up.
Okay.
And inside are it's a measuring tape, scissors, needle keepers, a marker. I always went a macaron, I don't know. There's a difference. Spiral cable needle, a bent tip needle, 3 straight needles, and a needle threader, and it all
Goodness.
fit in here. Now the tape measure was huge, so I cut it down a little because
Oh,
I
wow.
couldn't close it once I opened it. But the stitch markers are in this little macaroon.
Oh.
And then I got Mickey, like little Minnie Mouse needle things, and there's like a magnet on top that moves so you can put your stuff in. But it's like, if you need to grab something and go, it's
Cool.
all in there. So
How
I
is
think
Dyed
I
for You spelled?
she's
Is
got
it you?
D-Y-E-D.
Okay, so this is one.
Yeah. Because really, I just went down there for size 0 needles to do 2 at a time socks, because that's why I went, just to get size 0 needles, which I have to admit was my very first purchase. So I did stick to my plan, and after that, that's when it went off the tracks.
It was that, what do they call that, that entry drug?
Oh yeah, you want to
Gateway
reorganize
drug?
it? Thank you. So the same place that I got the yarn that I'm making my Hermione sock in, spinning wool.
Her sock sleeve.
My sock sleeve, yes. Okay, hang on, let me see how we can do this. So I'm only gonna show the card once because, there it is. Oh, no, there it is, okay. So wonderful people, Sharon and Dwight, easy to talk to. So this is what I picked up in Smithville, but this is what I picked up at Ashland. Let's see if I can get, I think that's, oh yeah, one more.
Like the color.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So, and this is a DK, and it's, oh, sorry, I'm not paying attention to you guys here. Okay, so we've got green and orange and cream and this really pretty blue. And this is Leicester long wool. And it's squishy and it's DK. I'm finally going to get a soldotna.
Wait, I thought you had one.
My very first soldotna
That's the one that
had
died?
the funny dye thing to it, and
Okay.
it got muddled. And it was also the first time I had ever done short rows. And I really messed up the short rows on it. And then my second one I made was too small, but I gave it to Julie. I gave that to Julie.
Okay,
Then
I
I
remember
made
that.
one for Bella for her birthday. And I've always wanted one.
You keep making them and giving them away.
This is going to be mine.
There you go.
This is going to be mine. So I thought, okay, there's my sweater. Dave, you shouldn't have let me buy it. Okay, so I was done. We're walking around, we're looking. You know when you see something and you're like, no, I'm not doing it. You walk away.
And can't think about it?
Instantly have regret. And you go back and you squish some more and then you walk away. And then you go back and then you can't leave the booth. I was in the booth so long I thought she was going to charge me rent because I was vacillating.
Employing you.
Yeah. I knew I had to have it, but I don't have any plans. I don't know what to do with it. And I think I bought
Wait, that's how I always shop.
far too much yarn that I needed.
Isn't that how you're supposed to
I
shop?
thought that's how you were supposed
Never
to
have a
shop.
plan or a goal. Just go and have the money.
So when I finally decided on the purchase, her little checkout was like, you know, it's over in the corner. Well, I work with 2.5 to 6-year-olds, and you know when a child's hiding in the corner and being really quiet, something's really going wrong.
Right.
And in my mind, I imagined this little 2-year-old hiding in the corner pooping. Like, I don't want to get caught doing this. I found myself like cowering in the corner, like handing her cash, like don't let anybody see what I'm doing, because I felt like I was doing something wrong. And I did make the comment, I'm like, I feel like a petulant child or like somebody, like a kid who's hiding and pooping and not wanting, and she looked at me like,
Did she look at
get
you?
out of my booth. Thank you for supporting me and paying for my travel here and home. But get out of my booth. She was
probably
wonderful.
felt slightly stalked.
She was wonderful. This is what made me go in and out.
Ooh. Oh.
This is what.
That's nice.
Oh,
I think you should pass it down
I'm
here.
totally in love.
Is there a specific pattern with that? Or
And now
it's alpaca.
there were 2 viewers that watch our podcast. They were there, and we've seen them at Wild and Woolly. I want to say Shelly or Sharon. I'm so sorry, Shelly. And she was no help. She was no help. She's like, how about this one? How about this one? Like, you're supposed to tell me to get out, and you're like, stay. And then she didn't buy a daggone thing because I bought enough for both of us. So this
is glorious.
probably going to be some kind
For
of
Darcy,
shawl
it's a
or
different
wrap.
me. Oh my!
And then I couldn't walk away from this.
Please tell me you got a card, and please tell me they sell online. Oh my
Yeah. And that's for a separate sweater.
This
than
is a
that,
separate
right?
sweater.
Oh,
That's not enough to do a sweater.
It's not?
No. This is merino and alpaca. Yeah, this
You're on
is.
an alpaca kick.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I just adore that.
I know. So, and I don't know what that one's made out of. What is
kinda
that?
Like, the stuff
Let's
I
look.
saw at the Yarn Birds that I
Oh, yeah.
went back and got at the last minute.
This is
Yeah, what is that?
100% alpaca.
Wabash,
So the-
Indiana.
Yeah, she was amazing. And this is a new to me fiber person. Like this one was new to me that I met in Smithville,
Wow.
but then I ran into her again
See,
there.
that's what I really like, is new to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was my rationalization behind purchasing this because it
Absolutely.
was a new. And honestly, like the price point on this, there's
I wanna feel that again.
200 yards. for $20. I mean,
Not enough for a sweater?
and this is her sheep. This is her. These are her alpacas. Yes. And so she doesn't. She mills it somewhere else.
yards?
Yeah.
25 altogether, okay.
Oh, that's.
Let me see if I could. Oh, wait a minute. Let me block people's faces. I am so sorry. I'm trying. Squish vision. Squish vision.
Okay.
She's on
There it is.
Facebook.
Yes. But I mean, the price point was great. It's a DK weight.
Which is so versatile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am making a lot of Ravelry. What do they call that? Tags.
Yes.
And I've got a couple because I'm like, do I want cables? Because that's why I bought extra. Because if I do cables, I'm going to need more. This is probably going to end up being a scarf, shawl, schlanket kind of thing. Or, I don't know. I just couldn't leave it.
So this reminds me of the gray that I bought from Yarn Birds that I kept
Okay.
stocking, and then at the very last minute before we left Pittsburgh, I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice,
I
but,
couldn't.
oh, gosh.
Okay, I need to see your yarn haul, Jen.
I couldn't. So let's see.
And I love marled yarns. I think marled
Okay.
yarns are fabulous.
Okay.
So, what's the squish factor?
Oh, if it was 1 through 10, it's a 50.
I think you're gonna lose that one.
I know I'm counting because I thought I had a different number than what I'm counting here.
Really?
So, but maybe not. Oh, no, there it is. I knew, I don't want to say how many I bought because I was pooping in the corner. And okay, yes, it is brown, but
What's the yardage on that? For 20?
200 yards. 200 yards, it's DK. I don't know, it felt like a deal, but it's also, it's small batch, it's personal, but this, and she had different combinations. She did, I wanted more of that camel tone, but she said she had sold out of those already. And I'm telling you, I was in her booth for an hour, easy. These were flying out. She just kept pulling more and more out.
Do you remember how I
Oh gosh.
marled the 2 alpaca yarns?
Mm-hmm.
So I have quite a bit of that left that would probably blend right in with these if you want them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll show it to you and then you can
Now,
decide.
when we start to talk about our cast on,
What?
Wabash Woolen Works.
Don't mind us while we
Yeah,
do our shopping here.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
and she was fantastic. Obviously, she's out of Indiana, so we may have to do a road trip to visit her, but I don't think she has brick and mortar or anything like that. But I would love to follow to see what shows she's going to next and not go.
Look at all the colors, my favorite colors.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, her booth was hopping. It was hopping. And like I said, I needed to pay rent, but I did. I paid rent and some. So, all right, that was the damage. Now when we talk about our cast on, and we were talking about stash dive in 2025.
She has plenty of stash.
You know why I want to stash dive. I have a new stash, but I also have old stash too. You know, we always talk about wanting to knit from stash, and I don't know. But
Knit,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, that I can't. I dream about that yarn. Like I cannot
So is that
wait.
gonna be
Well,
your
it was
New Year's cast on
100%
for that?
Potentially
It was 100% alpaca.
for the
So alpaca's gonna
for the multicolored one. The brown
Grow,
one was
right?
maroon.
It'll grow and it has no memory.
So
Right.
could she potentially knit that one strand of that together with that other one?
Well, that
Yes.
would that would
The other
give
one's
me more
alpaca,
worsted. Yeah, it's
Oh.
alpaca merino, so it's got a little
And that
more.
would start to get really warm, I would think.
So I found a couple patterns
Oh, have you?
to
You'll have to show us.
do, and it's just I just want them done now. Like I want speaking of Hermione, like the time turner, so I could go
Yes.
to work, but I could sit here.
Yes.
Right.
But I also am like my
Your
hands,
Your
my
hands.
hands,
Right.
my hands, my hands, and
So maybe knitting on this has to be your reward on the
Yeah.
weekend for behaving yourself with your hands.
yeah. So I'm trying to finish my socks, but and also I think when I was knitting the sweater that I had on before, the Dalen pullover, I was knitting without the braces on because it was right around the time when I realized I really need to keep them on. My hand, especially this one, hurt for almost 2 weeks because I did not wear the braces, but it was also heavy. And so I'm finding that it doesn't hurt as bad when I'm doing fingering weight things. They're smaller, and that's why I can't knit with the circulars because there's less to hold on to. With the double points, I have more to hold on to help balance out my hands. But I figured this isn't worsted, it's DK, it's somewhere in the middle, but also just, I really don't have much time on the weekdays to knit, but yeah.
So for New Year's Eve, are you thinking about doing the other one, the solid brown, or are you thinking about doing something with that?
I don't know
You
yet.
don't know yet, okay.
So, did we actually decide then that our New Year's Eve cast on is going to be utilizing stash? And did we decide that the object should be a sweater, or it could be anything you want
I
it
would
to be?
think anything, but where we might get questions is, well, how can you consider sweater worths of yarn as stash, or do you mean?
I think she just answered that.
I can go pull
Well, I actually
from my
have
closet
I have 4 sweaters that I bought a sweater's quantity for that I just never got to.
Yeah, me
So
too.
this might be like that avenue to use it's technically stash,
It is
even though
stashed. I've stashed it
it's-
for how many years now?
Or we could make it has to be an unfinished object of at least 6 months, like
old yarn, deep dive. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Because I thought I guess my thought was just, we're not purchasing yarn for this.
Right.
Correct.
Whatever it is, however long you've had it,
Just do
as
it.
of January 1st, you're not purchasing any yarn for it. But don't purchase yarn just for something.
I know, so that's where I am now.
Yeah.
It's like, because yes, I just purchased that, but that was October before we had even had this conversation. But I am willing to even go deep in because I've got a lot of
Well,
yarn
I've
in there.
got a lot of stuff that I have bought because I'm like, ooh, I love that color, or I like that fabric or the fiber, but I have no plans for it, but I'm going to ensure that I buy enough to make a sweater with.
Right, yes.
That's where I'm like, I have sweaters quantities and stash.
Yes.
Because when I went to the Autumn Fiber Fest, I think it was the exact same weekend as Rhinebeck. So obviously
Yes.
we're not doing a Rhinebeck recap because we didn't go. I know.
Right.
Get out the
Never
violin
go.
to play. How sad we are here. But I think we've been talking about the potential of going. There is a bus that leaves out of Northeast Ohio, but they alternate between the New York Sheep and Wool and Maryland Sheep and Wool, which Maryland Sheep and Wool I think is in the spring.
Yes.
So next year, it's May of 2025 that they're doing that road trip. And then in 26, they're going to Rhinebeck. And so I told Dave, I said, okay, that does it. I don't buy yarn at all until 2026.
But even then, you kind of
So I am setting that
Should we
goal.
place a bet?
Oh,
That's true. But even then, from some of the YouTube podcasts I was watching, people ordered their yarn to just pick it up there.
It's the
Oh, really?
experience, I think.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Because
you
they
can't
would,
get close to the booth.
you
is
can't
what
get
I've
close
heard.
to the booth, and then some of the booths people called out where there was the skeins were hanging up, and you weren't allowed to take them down, touch them, squish them, or
Yes, you
match
had
them.
to fill out
you had
a
to
piece
fill
of
out a
paper.
little
They were
form and hand it in, and then
nailed
you would run out. Oh yeah, I heard
Oh,
that
yeah.
was kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
But, so I think you'd have to go there with the mindset that
It's
it's
just an
souvenir
experience.
yarn
Yeah.
or souvenir purchases.
And there's
Right.
so many other podcasters there that I know when I was watching a few recaps, she had the same time slot at Cake as the grocery girls because she was filming and they walked by.
Right.
And it's I know that's not the point, but
Right.
it would be kind of cool to go, oh my gosh, there they are.
Right.
There they are.
I know. I would like to be able to connect and put a face with the people I watch every day.
But the thought of sitting in a big travel bus for 7, 8 hours knitting
Where
and
you don't have to
tucking,
drive or
you have to
navigate.
and there's a potty on board, so you don't have to
That's
worry
right.
about pit stops, and then everything's planned for you,
I think
which
it
I
would
know
be
some
fun.
people don't like. but you've got the hotel, the meals, they get you
Right.
in the door, and you get to
And
go
I-
Saturday and Sunday.
I think for
I would like
first year, that would
be the way to go.
Yeah,
To feel it out, see if
Yeah.
it's a vibe we're even interested in,
right.
and if our driver even feels up to something like that.
If we go back in the future.
Yeah.
Or we might want to try Maryland sheep.
Yeah. So like branching out. So I know
Oops,
when
that's
we
not right.
first started doing this, Darcy told me about Rhinebeck, and I remember going home going, why would you spend all that money to travel all the way out there and buy such expensive yarn? Because I was still on the Joann's Hobby Lobby.
Which isn't bad yarn.
No,
It's a great
but the
place.
price point threw
Right.
me when I saw
Right.
this.
You weren't prepared
until-
for it.
Right.
Yes. And sort of like the
Absolutely.
gas station coffee's great until you try Sure House down in Worcester that roasts their own beans.
Right.
And you're like,
Right.
That's
whoa,
fabulous
what
coffee.
is this?
Yeah.
So, but it is truly that community, and it's
Yeah.
that time together, and it's a destination, and it's
It's
a
the
memory.
experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is the experience.
So now, like your queue and Ravelry, how you go back in and reorder, I feel like
Oh,
I
yes.
I literally just
moved
did
it
that
up.
last night.
Yeah, I moved
And
it
I
up.
look back at some of my favorites.
Oh my
and
And
God.
I think like, what was I thinking?
It's when you watch those podcasts and you totally get sucked
Yes.
in, and you're like, oh, I gotta put that on my queue, and
And
then
it's funny because when I watch the podcast, I have to have my phone next to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, and Ravelry up and ready to go. Like, what is that pattern? Pause. Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So I just real quick, I had posted the Yarny conversion chart on our Facebook page. And this talks about different weights, equivalencies between different countries. I'm so excited by this. But then one of our members, Jackie North, mentioned that it wasn't totally correct, which is a good thing to know.
Yeah.
She said that the 5-ply in the UK is different from the 4-ply, which is kind of implicated here, and that also they do get worsted weight, which is thinner than Aran, which actually has been my experience from the yarns there. In the US, we don't tend to talk about Aran weight yarn, although some brands do. But just again, you know, I wish yarn weights were standardized, but they are not. So if you're looking for that, it's on our Facebook page.
Yep.
And let us know if you find any more things to add to it.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So why aren't they the same?
Why aren't they standardized?
Yeah. Just like women's clothing, though.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
Women's clothing, women's
Like
shoes,
I could
none
wear
of
it
it.
2, or I could wear 20. Like it just
Yeah.
depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could never wear 2, by the way.
You know, I can wear the same earrings I wore in high school.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I still fit into those.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same glasses.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of
amazing.
that. All right.
Well, thanks for spending some more time with us today.
So, I hope you all are enjoying sweater weather. It's sweater weather, kind of. We've had some really warm weather up here, but I think we finally hit our stride in some sweaters. Keep posting on Facebook and share what you're working on, and if you all want to join us in the New Year's Eve cast on, check your stashes, and definitely add to comments below and let us know what your ideas are. You might inspire us to do
Yeah, and
something.
maybe on the Facebook page we can post some ideas,
Yeah.
like whether
Yeah.
it's a baby coat. It doesn't have to be, a
A full
full item.
adult
It
sweater.
could be a necklace. It could be fingerless mitts.
Oh, and speaking of, now that you mentioned that, I found a pattern that could use up small quantities of stash that I've now misplaced. Okay. Well, never mind.
Well, you could post it in our comments
Oh,
or
wait.
our Facebook page.
Nope, that's not it. Never mind. It was a bookmark.
Oh yes, I saw those
There's
also
a little tassel.
on the Crazy Sock League.
Yes, her. That's
Yeah,
where I
Kay
saw it
has
from.
them.
Yeah. And on Ravelry, you can put the word stash in
Yeah.
to search for patterns.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. So good for that. It's a free pattern. So
Yeah.
But there's
That's
all those
good.
unfinished things too, so that's kind of like stash, I think.
Yep.
Alrighty,
All right, well, happy knitting and thanks again for watching.
and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yes, happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble.
Oh, I forgot, I found that page. Shoot.
Oh.
Well.
T for time to be together. Turkey
Okay,
talk in
so-
tangy weather. H for harvest stored away. Home hearth holiday. A for autumn's frosty art and abundance of the heart. N for neighbors and November. Nice things, new things to remember. K for kitchen, kettles croon. Kith and kin expected soon. S for sizzles, sights and sounds. Something special that abounds. That spells thanks for joy in living and a jolly good Thanksgiving by Aileen Fisher. My 3 to 6-year-olds have memorized that top to bottom.
Are you
Wow.
Yes, they
Oh my
can do it.
gosh.
They
I
can
already
do
forgot
it.
the first word.
Yes. Nancy, what are you gonna do?
Oh, so I found the article on the steeking, and it's from Talvy Knits.
Okay.
How to pick up stitches before steeking. It's a tutorial. I thought it was a cool idea. which
Okay.
You might want to use, and I will try and figure out how to get it on our Facebook page.
You send it to her.
I sent it to all of us.
Okay, I was gonna say it didn't.
I thought you meant on this thing, you just send it to her.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that, Darcy. You want it for this, and then you can put it on our.
Sure.
Okay. Well, you've got it on our message.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
You don't get much depth of field the higher you go in magnification,
Okay.
but you
Mine
like.
it could be right here. That would be lovely. Okay, so that's a knit, that's a knit,